The best way to understand a codebase is to not read the code first. That sounds like the kind of advice someone gives right before they try to sell you a productivity framework, but bear with it. Every software project is a crime scene, and most developers walk in and start examining the carpet. The ones who figure things out fastest? They check the security footage first. Git is the security footage. Reading source files cold is like finding a stranger's diary, flipping to a random page, and trying to reconstruct their entire life from there. You might piece some things together. But you're missing the timeline: who made this, when did the panicked rewrites happen, which files are secretly on fire at all times. Code tells you what exists. Git tells you what happened. Start with git log one line. 20 seconds and you have the entire narrative arc. Is the commit history clean and purposeful, or does it read like a series of apology notes? A project with 1,000 commits all labeled fix or update is communicating something important. It's not communicating well. But it is communicating. That, itself, is information. It is whispering run. Next, git short log sn. This ranks every contributor by commit count. Commit counts don't measure quality, they're not supposed to. What they tell you is whose hands shaped this codebase. The person with 900 commits probably knows where every decision was made. The person with 2 commits also knows. Just from a very different vantage point. Run git log stat and watch which files show up together most often. Files that cluster in every commit are coupled, even if nothing in the code admits it. This is the real architecture, not the intended design, but the one that crystallized through hundreds of small decisions and at least one very long Friday that nobody documented. Git blame has a terrible name for what it actually does. It's not about assigning fault, it's about finding context. When you encounter a line of code that does something inexplicable, git blame tells you exactly when it appeared. Then you look at that commit. Suddenly the inexplicable has a story. Not always a flattering one. But a story. For surgical focus, git log ppath/to/file shows every change to a single file in chronological order with full diffs. It's reading a document's complete revision history before you read the document itself. By the time you open the file, you already know its trajectory, what it used to do, what got deleted, and what that comment saying "do not touch" was originally protecting. One more, git log since equals 3 months ago stat. This narrows your view to recent activity, the living, breathing part of the codebase versus the archaeological layer. Some code hasn't changed in 6 years because it's perfect. Some hasn't changed because everyone is afraid of it. These look identical until you check the commit messages surrounding them. Here is what no onboarding doc will tell you: source code is the least honest thing in a repository. Code shows you the current state, frozen, stripped of context, silent about its own reasons. Git is where the reasoning lives, the arguments, the reversals, the compromises nobody wanted to make but made anyway. Read the history before you read the code. You'll understand faster. And you'll be significantly less wrong about why any of it is the way it is. Strip away the tool recommendations and what remains is one uncomfortable claim: the thing developers trust most, the source code itself, is also the least honest thing in the repository. Git isn't a backup system or a blame machine. It's the only place in a codebase where intent survived. The commits record the arguments, the reversals, the 2 AM compromises. The code just records who won. Start there, and you walk into any unfamiliar codebase with something most developers spend weeks trying to build: a sense of what actually happened. What strikes us is the framing nobody questions: that reading code is the work, and everything else is scaffolding. We've built entire onboarding cultures around handing someone a codebase and saying "figure it out," as if comprehension is a personal virtue rather than a design failure. We're not sure that's wrong. But we do wonder, if a codebase requires this much forensic archaeology just to orient yourself, at what point does that stop being a reading problem and start being a writing one?